On this occasion, to commemorate the International Women's Day, women rights activists have condemned the rising spate of murder and kidnap, especially in Kampala, Wakiso district, with most of the victims being women.
We call upon government to adequately investigate and prosecute the accused murderers of the 28, now counting 29, innocent women killed in Wakiso district and others who have been kidnapped.
The activists are asking the police and other security agencies to produce a conclusive report on the killing of at least 28 women in Nansana, Entebbe and other parts of Wakiso district in the late 2017.
Upon government to compensate the families of the women who have been killed, we further call upon government to set up a forensic laboratory to ease the processes of investigation and to make the processes current in order to come to a logical conclusion of these investigations.
Calling upon the women in parliament and in the political leadership of this country, in the ministry, everywhere they are, to rise up first of all and condemn the insecurity, the nature of murder.
President Museveni, who presided over the National Women's Day celebrations in Mityana district earlier in the day, said several suspects in connection with these murders were arrested and are facing trial. These women activists drawn from Uganda Women's Network and the Federation of Uganda Women's Lawyer FIDA addressed a joint media conference at the FIDA offices in Ntinda, Kampala. They also asked government to increase funding to the whole sector because many Ugandans have died of easily preventable causes like women dying during childbirth.
Women's health is a nation's wealth. Without a healthy nation, we cannot have wealth.
Over 15 years ago, the Ugandan government signed the Maputo Protocol, in which African countries agreed to allocate at least 15% of their national budgets to healthcare. However, over the years, the budget allocation to healthcare has never hit even half of the Maputo target.
We are seriously challenged in terms of accessibility, availability, and affordability of proper, sufficient, adequate health care.
On Noding syndrome, that is ravaging children, mainly in the Acholi sub-region of northern Uganda, the women activists accuse government of not doing enough to save the children, leaving the families to suffer.
These families have suffered for too long, and it is a clear indication of a failed health system that cannot support our families.
Earlier this week, Health Minister Dr. Jane Luther Cheng said the ministry last recorded a case of Noding syndrome in 2012, even when an NTV investigative story showed that the problem had persisted and more children were ailing. The minister said some people are confusing Noding syndrome with epilepsy. Ivan Chimuchigozi, NTV.
Police in Uganda are on the spot to bring to justice those behind the gruesome murders of women in the central region. At least 20 dead bodies have been found since May, the latest being that of Aisha Nakasinga, who used to run this grocery shop. Like most of the residents here, her friend Ida Nachimera has little hope these murders will stop soon. We used to hear of such killings happening in other places until it happened to our own people. It was very terrible when we woke up one morning and our own friend was missing, she says. The government has defended the police, who say they've arrested 30 suspects and charged 13 of them, listing possible motives ranging from domestic rows to human sacrifice.
We increased our patrols, focused patrols, both motorized and foot, and of course supported by the community in these areas. We popularized the crime, the neighborhood watch scheme.
Members of Parliament stopped work for 2 days last week to mount pressure on ministers and police over the unresolved murders in 3 districts around Kampala, the capital. Some residents suspect the murder victims are killed elsewhere and the bodies later dumped.